Looking for Cows Audio presents I Hate Mooberly by M.P. Temple, as read by the author. Episode 1, Racer. Tuesday, May 7th, 1996, 7:30 a.m. Town name, Redacted. I heard you kick Cassie in the head. Coach Blinkenberg snapped the cap back on a dry erase marker. The bell had rung, and most of the students were jammed at the door trying to leave the tiny classroom for lunch. The building had been built in the 1920s and hadn't been updated since. The agriculture classroom Leonie stood in still had the original desk with the folded seats. I didn't kick her, Leonie said, adjusting the extra credit paper in her hands. The coach-turned-agriculture teacher towered above her. He was a man in his 30s who often wore a baseball cap and jeans. All the kids loved Coach Blinkenberg, and he held the fate of her summer in his gradebook. Why is he acting like this? Leonie thought. What I heard, the coach said, on the back of the bus at the field trip, you smacked her across the head with a water bottle yelling, "I am the water queen." That little snickerdoodle made up a story to get me in trouble, Leonie thought. I'm not letting Cassie take my summer away. The junior Gopher Canyon Firewatch job is mine, if I can find a way to pass this class. Leonie slammed her fist into her palm. I am the water queen sounds like something somebody would make up if they couldn't think of anything else. Could you not think of anything else? Coach asked. The seriousness of the stare alarmed her. She set down the extra credit assignment. I sat on her a little, Leonie admitted, to get her to move over. I told you not to put us together for group work. That you both failed, the coach said. Yes. I thought we could make a deal about an opportunity, but now I'm not so sure. Ask everyone who saw us. They'll tell you it didn't happen. She's mad about the grade and is trying to get back at me. Leonie tightened both of her fists. This was an outrage. She was not that kind of person. So what if no one else could handle being as tough as she was? The only reason I'm doing this is because your family experience, the coach went on, flipping through papers on his desk. I have asked around. Her story changed. But I see how your hands get sometimes when you think no one is watching. Like when you talk the livestock. I worry that's going to get you in trouble like a kid I knew once. Leonie tried to relax her fist. She looked down. Her black hair fell in her eyes, and she did not bother to brush her bangs aside. This about the fight I had with Mooberly? She asked, looking up frantically. That conversation had been private, away from all ears. Her outburst had happened far from the main school building, in a barn a short walk from the football field. No one had been there to witness her meltdown that day. Why do you keep calling her Mooberly? The class cow doesn't have a name, he said, in almost ashamed of having to say the words aloud. He leaned on the cluttered desk. He looked tired to the girl. She gasped. How did you hear? That's not important, Coach said. I know. How do you get in verbal contact with a creature that wants to cuddle you? I don't get along with that prat Mooberly, Leonie narrowed her eyes. That's not a crime. Otherwise McDonald's and Dairy Queen would need really good lawyers. Coach Blinkenberg sighed as if he had heard the worst joke ever told. He handed her a flyer that read, Wanted. After-school cow caretaker. Extra credit available. Leonie mouthed a bad word. She hated that cow. The smell, the sound she made, the way its nose and lips turned up when it chewed on grass, everything. And most of all, she hated everything about how cattle reminded her that her father, who supposedly worked at a cattle ranch in Wyoming, would not be back to see her most of the year. If he returned at all. She found herself tearing up. I don't want to stay after school. I hate this place. I want to get as far away from everyone as I can. The coach shrugged. Do you want the Gopher Canyon Jr fire lookout position? Or do you want to hang out with me all summer, redoing agriculture homework? Oh my god, no, Leonie said. Stop, I'll take care of the idiot. When do I report in? Coach Blinkenberg crinkled his nose. Show up after school at the barn by the field. You'll see a list of everything you need to do. Do that for 2 weeks straight, and I'll even endorse you for the job. I need that cow. The school needs that cow as healthy come my secret auction. It's for the good of the town. Town pride and all. If the town has so much pride, Leonie asked, why don't we call ourselves Redacted instead of what the town is really named? Coach Blinkenberg hesitated. You know why no one says the name? The area was named something bad, and then the town started a few years ago and someone messed up the paperwork. Never mind our questionable town history. Act wisely. Don't let anything bad happen to my cash cow. You have my word. Mooberly will live, she said. I need the extra credit. I will not fail you. He shook his head. I'm not a Sith Lord, and the cow doesn't have a name. It's the class cow that I donated. Don't tell the district. If I hear any more about you and Cassie fighting, it's over for both of you. Got it? Leonie gulped. Yes, I understand. School barn, 5:25 p.m. After school, things didn't get much better. The water bucket clunked on the barn floor. Leonie cursed at her wet hands in frustration. The leaky pump always sprayed water in all directions, causing the handle to be wetter than she expected. The large cow munched on grass and mooed from its straw-littered pen, flicking its tail back and forth. Dust hung in the air. Stuff it in a grocery baggie, featured cheeseburger, Leonie shouted at the cow as she picked up the bucket. She paused. Sorry, Mooberly. I don't like messing up, she said. Why do I have to use a bucket anyway? Can't the school district afford a hose? The cow mooed. No one asked you, she sneered. She refilled the bucket at the opposite end of the barn, trying to ignore the smells of wet hay and rotten wood. Her knuckles and arms burned from carrying it over to the cow's water trough so many times. She trudged past 3 empty stalls and a tractor parked inconveniently in the middle of the room. The cow stuck its head through the fence when she approached. The creature's large tongue began to lap the liquid into her mouth, making a face that looked ridiculous to Leonie. The soft crunching of footsteps behind her made Leonie turn around. As she did, she felt a cold splash of bucket water on her face. She saw Cassie, still in cheerleader uniform with the Ren and Stimpy PJ bottoms on, holding an empty bucket in her hands. She had missed the cow's water container and soaked Leonie's shirt and overalls. The two girls glared at each other. What are you doing here? Leonie asked her. Don't you have cheer practice or something? Who are we cheering for? The cafeteria ladies? The school can't afford sports. They canceled the program ages ago. I'm here now because I know you're gonna screw up, Cassie said as she walked to the water faucet in the back of the barn. Leonie dashed towards Cassie and jabbed her with a sharp poke to the shoulder. She dropped the bucket on her own feet and crossed her arms. Cassie did not back away. They faced each other like boxers waiting for the bell. Leonie stood firm. Cassie glared. The cow mooed. Stay out of this, Mooberly, Leonie shouted. Cassie, why do you have to be into everything that I am? Can't you get your own hobbies and interests? You're popular enough, you can do anything you want. Go do something else. The cow munched on hay like nothing of interest was happening. What I heard when you said that is, can you stop existing, please? And that's like rude, Cassie said. I want you to exist over there, far away from me, with everyone else in this town we can't say the name of, Leonie said. I'm a threat to your little world you like to hide in all day, Cassie gawked. I bet in your head you got your own theme park with posters of yourself all over. You don't even let anyone ride the bumper cars in that world of yours. You won't let anyone help. But I'm not here to solve all your problems, weirdo. She poked Leonie in the shoulder, who drew back with a wide-eyed, shocked expression. Time out. Leonie made a T shape with her hands. Where are my bumper cars at? Because I've been living in my head a while, and there are no rides. Just killer clowns with water fountains or Crystal Pepsi. No, when the street lights go off in here, Leonie pointed to her head, it's not a safe place to be. And that's why I need to be out in the wild, in the canyon, looking for fire. You can't even see the flames in front of your face, Cassie scoffed. You want the job to get away. I need the job to connect. I'm not going to stop existing because we want the same thing. I'm sorry I lied about you kicking me. I was wrong, but I want this. And it's not fair that your parents do rant stuff. Not all of us have that. It's not my job to solve your problems, Leonie said. Cassie's open hand struck Leonie's cheek. She shoved Cassie so hard that she landed on her backside. Standing over her with a bright red mark on her face, she yelled, your family didn't even lose anything in the flood, and here you are acting like a victim. They rustled to the floor like angry alligators having a rolling contest. Punches flew as they shouted insults at each other at the top of their lungs, releasing years of pent-up anger and hate towards each other. Neither of them heard the commotion happening on the other side of the cow pen. Horse face, Leonie randomly shouted. You Edward Scissorhand wannabe, Cassie yelled back, shoving Leonie into a tall haystack. Leonie did not hear the cow pen door creaking open, or the sound of a large engine revving outside. A strong, cold breeze with the scent of fresh rain swept through the room. They stopped and turned in the direction of the wind. A single straw floated towards them from the outside world. It came from where the cow had been. I don't hear Mooberly chewing, Leonie said in a panic. The girl ran around the tractor and climbed over the pen fence. A white pickup truck without a license plate pulled away with Mooberly in the back. The vehicle disappeared from her sight, traveling on a dirt road into the barren farmland. Leonie exclaimed, somebody count that Mooberly! Agriculture classroom, 6:30 p.m. I want an explanation, right now, starting with how you got that red mark. Leonie and Cassie sat in shock in front of Coach Blinkenberg's desk. He paced back and forth rapidly. They all looked ill. Leonie stared at her light-up sneakers. The cow was gone. Everything was over. Cassie shuffled. Why were both of you there? How did this happen? Coach said. Leonie looked at Cassie, who stared at her own pair of identical light-up sneakers. Having been so fierce a few minutes ago, Cassie now seemed different. Quiet. Withdrawn. It felt like looking in the mirror to Leonie. She saw herself, but backwards somehow. Cassie's dream of working at Gopher Canyon had died too. I fell on a door knob, Leonie said, straightening up. I didn't want to go to the nurse and leave Mooberly all alone. Cassie came to help me, and then it happened. Someone stole Mooberly in the back of their truck. I saw them driving over the hills towards the other side of the tracks. This couldn't have been prevented. Cassie's eyes darted to Leonie's, like a lion spotting a gazelle, but she nodded in agreement. What'd you do to the cow? Coach Blinkenberg said, sitting at his desk, now out of breath. You hated her. You said so yourself. You too were the last to see her. No, Cassie cried. I would never. I can't lose that cow. Where did you take her? Coach said in a threatening tone. We didn't cow-nap her, Leonie said, looking him in the eyes. Until you have proof otherwise, detention, summer school. Now, I'm gonna go lie down in my car until I can figure out what to do. Go tell your parents what you did before I do. He walked out of the musty classroom holding his stomach, leaving the two girls seated at the front. The door closed quietly. For a long time, they did not speak. It might have been the longest they had sat next to each other without throwing an insult around. You lied about the fight, Cassie said. Leonie stuck her tongue out at her before saying, the only way that either of us can get this junior high firewatch gig is if we find that cow. And we need to do it together. Cassie crossed her arms. I'd rather chug rotten yogurt. We don't have time to argue, Leonie said. Every second we stand here playing patty cake, the less chance we get that she's found. We work together, we bring her back. Wait, are you serious? You want us to go break curfew to go after whoever took the cow? My parents would ground me, Cassie said. You wanted this, Leonie stood up. There's no police in Redacted, not since the bait shop moved into the station. The adults here are dumb, so it has to be us teenagers. If we go across the tracks, we can find where they took her. We need to find Mooberly. Weston and Boone from science class, don't they live out there? I don't know them well, but they would know who'd take a cow. Cassie made a frustrated strangling gesture with her hands. You're the reason I'm failing this agriculture class. I shouldn't even be here. Fine, but I will be the Gopher Canyon Jr. lookout this summer. If I get in trouble because of you, there will be consequences. You're the one who's impossible to work with, Leonie said. That's why we failed. I told you there are no bumper cars. Leonie flipped the desk in front of her and headed out the door to find a payphone.